Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, would you want to be Speaker of the House?
Ever or right now? Because maybe and no.
Right now, especially.
Oh, God, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, for Thursday, November 5th, 2015, this is All Downhill. This episode, Fat Guys Make Fun of Diets.
I really think that you should be, if you're gonna hate a culture or people, you should hate them based on what they eat, and the merit of the food that they make.
Oh, in that case, I hate white people.
Yeah, no, I hate all white people because they're boring as shit.
It's not even just that they're boring as shit. We come up. I don't hate the white people. I'm going to be really clear. I hate white Americans. We come up with, white Americans. I'll throw in the British and the Australians.
I think the British are probably the biggest offenders. But if I know where you're going,
I think the British were, because I'm going to go in and everybody knows British food's bad, and I'm going to throw in Australia and New Zealand and places like that because Vegemite. I mean, come on, and Marmite for that matter. The whole.
I mean, I guess you could forgive the Brits because they kind of imported curry, but...
Yeah, and they did make it very different than how it was, though. That's another thing to consider is, remember, it's not the same curry.
No, it's not.
They say that if you get the best curry chef in Britain, send him to India. They've gone there for curry festivals, and Indians will go eat it because it's an exotic food.
Yeah,
because it's not the same.
It's totally different.
Interestingly, though, in certain parts of India, British curry's more spicy than what they eat.
Yeah, I did know that. That's
and they're
kind
still
of bizarre.
But this, if we're gonna go by food, though, no, it's white. It's British and Australians and all them come in a close second. Not only for like the general bad food, things like eel pie that are just.
Why? Why would you do that?
When it's like haggis. So I had a friend who had some at my house. He had haggis. I did not make it. He got it canned, and he kept telling me, you've got to try this. And I wouldn't try it because even if he's right and it's good, I'm not against yes, we have to eat every part of the animal. If you're in the kind of culture, I get a lot of food comes from we had to eat every part of the animal. If
you're totally paleo.
No, I'll get to that. But if you're from that culture, where it's like, we were raised eating chitlins or whatever because cheap. That's fine. But haggis isn't like. I mean, he paid actually pretty decent money to get haggis. It's like,
and
it's
not only that,
cheap.
he bought canned haggis, not even like fresh haggis at a restaurant or something.
Yeah, which could cost you more. You're taking not only extra money, extra effort to eat the bad part of the animal that you no longer have to. And even though, yes, some of these parts may be edible and passable, the whole point of eating them and passing them is to make them not what they are, not to advertise on the can, contains the finest sheep, everything you don't want to eat from the sheep.
To be fair, you could in theory say that of any sausage product.
Yeah, but sausage doesn't say on the can or the, casing or packaging, doesn't say, hey, here's what you're eating. Sausage is smart. Sausage goes, this is a thing with wurst or furter stuck on the end of it because we're not telling you what it is.
And if you look at the ingredients of them, it just says meat and spices.
Yes. And if it's cheap, it'll say they've been mechanically separated. But then that's as far as they're going. They're not telling you what's in there. That's smart. When you start to advertise, hey, like Britain, hey, we got kidney pie. Scotland, yeah, we got sheep guts in this. Yeah, I don't want it anymore. There's something wrong with you. That and Marmite earns them a solid place too, even if nothing else they had.
So what's
Marmite's
worse than
bad.
this?
Well, you said it. It's the U.S. and it's because of crazy, stupid diet fads. Anywhere else in the world, paleo people? It's basically a U.S. phenomenon.
Yeah, no, the whole diet craze,
and this is white people in general, and this is a little more worldwide. But I'm going to go ahead and throw in vegans. If you are vegan for ethical reasons, I think you're stupid. But at least you're doing it for a principled reason. If you're vegan, I'm not counting vegetarians here. I'm talking straight vegans.
Like,
if you're
no
straight
ovo-lacto.
Yeah. I don't eat no butter because that ain't right. For non-ethical reasons, if you're doing it because people do this because it's not good for me. In fact, anybody who takes butter out of your diet's an idiot. I'm gonna break it down that far. If you don't use butter in your cooking, you're an idiot.
Here's the thing too. I even for a while, and I still do it occasionally. I'll have vegetarian meals.
No, I don't like vegetables. But you know what? With that.
But you know what? I cooked my vegetables with butter, with delicious butter.
Even if
because it was so good.
Different than going I'm never eaten this or God. If you are gluten intolerant, I don't mean have celiac disease. If you have celiac disease, I feel for you. That is so bad. If you're gluten intolerant,
it's not a thing.
For one thing, most doctors agree it doesn't exist, and for another, even if it does, that's God telling you should die.
Celiac disease is just like, well, God did the whole Job thing where it's like, I'm going to test this man's faith by letting Satan have him.
Yeah, that's the food equivalent.
That's the food equivalent. So to all of you who have celiac disease, I'm so sorry.
But I'm also thankful because your celiac disease gets everyone else on Earth let off for other things.
Thank you.
The reason there has only been one Holocaust is because celiac disease sufferers have taken on the weight of the world.
I mean, I guess Jesus helped a little bit too, but I mean, mostly celiac disease.
He dealt with the after-death stuff. Celiac disease is the on Earth.
Okay. I see.
If nobody had celiac disease, Mount St. Helens would have erupted by now. Like 6 or 7 times within the past 20 years.
Probably, yeah. No, you're right. I think that's like diet fad. Like I can't dispute your claim because I've never heard of a diet fad starting anywhere else. Like you don't hear about diet fad starting in Africa.
Yeah, occasionally you'll get it's an Indian fad or like an Asian countries.
But
even then it's usually
a cultural
superfood. Yeah, it's either a cultural thing, or it's a superfood or it's a religious thing. Like it's the Buddhist monks eat X, Y, or Z. It's like, yeah, but they're monks. Like your regular. That's the thing I also
These
don't get.
Japanese people from this one village live to all be 120 years old because of their local diet.
They ate goji berries all the time.
It's because they eat what's like right around them immediately, man.
Well, it's not just that. They're also probably, if you're eating only local food, there's a zillion other lifestyle differences you're making.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. But like, there are these people who are like, I'm living in a city doing this, CrossFit, and I'm CrossFitting, and I'm doing like a paleo diet. Like,
yeah, and look,
God.
I get some diet stuff is fine. Like if you are going on a diet and you decide to use a diet, if you use one that has any kind of medical basis for it, that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. Or if you just maybe you're on a weird diet because you like, I met someone, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I met a person who was on Atkins because Atkins sounded good to them. Had nothing to do, they didn't even want to lose weight. They just went, I like the idea of being on the Atkins diet because basically you just eat meat, and this gives me an excuse to say no to everything that isn't just meat.
But he's going to get cancer so fast.
I mean, it's dumb, but, it's like, whatever. But it's when you're like, oh no, I'm being, the cavemen didn't have X, Y, and Z, so I'm going to go paleo. It's like, You're
not a caveman.
Yeah, among other things, you're not a caveman. If they lived longer than us, they also did like, they didn't live in a city around smog or do CrossFit. They grew all their own crap. They hunted their own animals. If you
there were
if you
5 or 6
paleo,
of them that went out with spears, not guns, spears, and they killed mammoths.
Yeah,
and some of them didn't come back.
Yeah, and if you're going to go out and hunt all your own food and call that paleo, even I'll give it to you. If you're using a gun or a compound bow, but you're killing all your own food, I'll give you can do all the paleo you want. But if you are living in, downtown Seattle, which you are, and because if you're on a paleo diet, you're in downtown Seattle.
When are we going to see the first paleo? Well, probably there is. Seattle would probably have the first paleo restaurant.
There are paleo restaurants, yeah. There actually are paleo restaurants, which is hilarious. There is nothing funnier than the concept of I'm going to be like a caveman now, please bring me my food on a plate. That, I think, is... And that's why, if you're going to hate a culture based on their food, you hate America. On the other hand, we gave the world the hamburger, so that might balance out literally everything else.
True.
So we'll be fair. You'll just hate Seattle, Los Angeles, Portland, most of New York, probably most of Chicago, Boston, but more or less on principle, Miami, San Francisco. Did I say that one? I don't know if I did.
Yeah, no, you didn't. But you can say it again if you wanted to.
Maybe Salt Lake City and Houston and Austin too.
Houston, I would say Houston.
Like Houston and Austin probably have
Austin
they've
more
got
so than
good
Houston.
Texas food, but that's their hipster meccas now. It's gonna be basically any large city.
Anything that's not the Midwest, really, and even some of the big cities in the Midwest now.
You hate Americans between the ages of 17 and probably about 28. Because people do eventually hit the point where they're old and they stop doing that, or they become old hippies.
Yeah, most of them are becoming old hippies now.
The difference is old hippies are usually like way less into their shit.
That is the funny thing.
Like if you meet an old hippie, they're like, like you meet a young progressive liberal, I'm on a paleo diet and I do CrossFit type.
And they're just like all about it.
Yeah, and they'll tell you about it nonstop for a month. If you meet an old hippie who like may have all of the exact same diet and lifestyle choices, he'll be like, whatever, do your thing. I'll do my thing.
He just did that, and he's like, he's like, yeah, man, whatever. I mean,
you tried this.
It's all good. I killed like 50 guys in Vietnam, but and did all that crap, and I'm doing this now.
If you killed people in Vietnam, you're allowed to eat whatever you want.
That's true.
Yeah, especially
they probably
the people you
eat.
killed.
They probably ate the people they killed in Mom. That's where I was going with that too.
Is that the end of that? Do we stop there? I want to talk about something that doesn't make any sense to me. So there's like this whole trend towards the man candles and men shampoo and men this and men that, but especially men's shampoos, men's soaps, men's shaving products.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's kind of there's like a revitalization of that industry.
Yeah.
Now, and I'll admit, in the shaving products category, I'm all for it. Now, I will never use a straight razor or an old-style one-blade safety razor because I like not cutting my face to ribbons.
I do occasionally use a straight blade, but I mean,
the folding one?
oh, yeah.
I have mad respect for you.
I actually know how to use it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I just cut my face up trying to learn. Probably. I don't. But even then, even with like my cartridge razor, I taking a few minutes in the morning to shave is like a kind of relaxing moment for me. I don't know if it is for women when they're doing their legs, but I know for me it's like
from what I've know, it's just nothing but complaining.
Okay. For me, it's like. Even if I when I cut myself, it's then just I'm
living
bleed all day.
From living through that.
Oh, really?
Or hearing from that from multiple, like not just women? My wife, but past girlfriends. No, it's like the worst thing.
Okay, but for men, like it does seem to be like this is a me moment. I don't have to come out of the bathroom for like 2 more minutes while I do this very brief ritual. Yeah. So I get like why people want to spend time with it. And besides, who doesn't want their face to smell like sandalwood? Sandalwood smells great, or whatever other crap kind of weird lotion you got. Most of them smell awesome.
That's the only one you should use.
Brute is admittedly the essence of man. Brute is what is my go-to when I'm too lazy or too cheap to use my nicer cologne, which I keep a single bottle of, and when it runs out, I will buy a single bottle of probably something different because I'm too lazy to pick a real scent. Currently, it smells like oranges and musk because my girlfriend likes oranges, so she likes it. And men, this is the one thing I will say. If you buy a manly scented cologne, shaving cream and stuff's all fine, but the cologne, if you get a cologne that this smells manly, I like it, I don't care what girls think, you're an idiot. You missed that the point of cologne is to get you FaceTime. Your
cologne should smell exactly as it needs to get you in them pants.
If the girl's like, oh, I love the smell of like burning fires, you get a cologne that smells like burning fires. But if she's like, I like fruit, get a cologne that smells fruity and get over it.
Then you buy a cologne that smells like fruit. Because otherwise you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, because you're wearing cologne to get some. That's it. It doesn't impress anybody else. It's to get some.
But anyway, yes,
so there's this whole men's trend thing. And a lot of them are like, well, it's, a reaction to, you see men using loofahs and all, men's products are now.
I still don't get that.
I don't get loofahs, only because it's too much effort when I could just use a bar of soap. And they'll go on like, well, everything smells fruity now. Everything's aimed towards women. When it really comes down to it, and if it really bothers you, like if the fruit smell really bothers you, whatever, buy whatever you want. But it's like boutique expensive on both ends, but especially on the men's end. You get women going, what kind of insecure man can't smell like a woman? A secure man will just smell like a woman. You get the men going, I just want to smell like a man. And then you get people like me who are thinking, there's still like a zillion basically unscented versions of everything out there that usually cost about a quarter of as much. And if one of the scented ones is on sale, I'll probably buy a fruity scented one anyway, because when it really comes down to it, it's friggin' shampoo and or soap. It's washing off by the time I get out of the shower, and all it needs to do is get my ass clean. If it can get poo particles out of the ass hairs in my butt, then it's a perfect body wash and or soap, and I don't care what it smells like.
I mean, motherfucker, I went to Sam's and I bought like a 50-pack of Dial. All right? Yeah. Because if I'm going to put anything else, I'm going to wear deodorant anyway.
Yeah.
And if anybody's going to smell anything, if they're getting close enough to smell my soap,
they're smelling my deodorant.
They're smelling my deodorant first. So like, I'm buying and I'm not even buying an expensive deodorant for like a week. But because I kept forgetting to buy it, I just used my wife's deodorant.
Secret?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I used Secret for a while because it was around. It was like, it's cheap.
I mean, it's cheap, and actually it's better for like if you sweat a lot. It's for some reason.
It basically smells like baby powder, which, let's be honest, is a pretty non-offensive smell if you're going to smell like something.
But here's the thing, and I got some like Arm & Hammer, like that's what I got this time.
Sure,
like, which I mean, like just like their spring scent or whatever. I don't care. It's Arm & Hammer, and it works just almost as well as women's. But here's the thing. That's what I noticed. This like week that I've been wearing my wife's deodorant, it works a damn lot better at keeping you from sweating than men's deodorant. What the fuck's up with that?
Okay, I will say, when I was in Florida,
I
bought Mitchum. And Mitchum was more expensive than most other brands, and I thought at first it was because it was manly. Because Mitchum said, it's got for a while they had things in their labels like, if you're not sure if you only go to a doctor if something breaks, you're a Mitchum man. If you're not even sure you own an iron, you're a Mitchum man. And I went, that's an attractive advertising campaign. I like it. I got it because it was on sale and because the advertising was funny. I kept getting it because I'm pretty sure you could rub Mitchum on a skunk's anus and you couldn't smell it. I have never seen anything work that well. Now, admittedly, I found it uncomfortably tingly, but I was in Florida and I was sweating so much I would take anything to cover that scent, including uncomfortably tingly.
I generally get whenever the Brute's on sale, I get that because
Brute's a classy smell. It's a classy men's smell.
That's what I get because
but that's like I'm buying. You're not like calling a boutique store and buying fancy men's deodorant. You're buying fancy for the grocery store.
Yeah, no. Well, and the funny thing is, I only buy Brute when it's on sale. And generally, if Brute goes on sale, if you go to Kroger's, when it's on sale, it's 10 for 10.
Oh, yeah. Brute costs nothing.
It costs nothing.
Yeah.
So I get Brute, and I smell like Brute for a year and a half because I buy 10 of them.
It's the rest of the time, and that's like you said, you buy a bunch of Dial, and it's I've seen, there's a, is it men's soap or something? I can't remember the name of the soap company, but they make soap for men. And one of their smells, and I've always thought if I bought a bar of fancy soap, that'd be the one to buy because it says it makes you smell like the Navy, which admittedly probably makes you smell like butt sex. But in the hope that it makes you smell like you live on the ocean being badass and not having butt sex.
They should re-clarify that. It makes you smell like a Navy SEAL.
Right.
Not like you've been on a submarine.
In the Navy. But,
for but 6 months having butt
whatever,
sex.
I get that. And it's like a brick-sized bar of blue soap. It's that would probably last forever anyway. Or it's once somebody asked me, if you could buy the same kind of soap every day for the rest of your life, what kind of soap would you buy? I said, lava. The kind, the kind that gets oil off. It's they said, why? It smells bad. It's horrible for your skin. I said, yes, but you'll never be dirty ever again.
That's true.
If it can get engine oil off your hands, it can get anything off. Lava's the best soap on earth. But it's
Gojo, man.
Generally speaking, if I'm getting soap, I've always bought Ivory because it's, other than Dial, the cheapest one you can get. I've noticed Dial is some places a little cheaper and some places it's Ivory. And
I've noticed.
I've always gotten Ivory only because, and this is just me, for some reason I've always found, and I think it's psychosomatic, Dial smells yellow. I know it is yellow, but to me, every time I've used it, because my roommate used to buy Dial, I'd think, this smells yellow. And then I'd use Ivory and goes, this doesn't smell like anything because everybody knows white's not a smell. I'm pretty sure it's entirely in my head.
It is in your head. I've never had that thought. But I know Dial has its own smell.
I still went cheapest soap. I never walked in, I'd have people and they're like, oh, I buy Irish Spring. It smells manly and fresh. And I'd be like, oh, Irish Spring costs more than 10 cents more a bar. I bought Old Spice soap once because it was on sale for $1 for 10 bars. I'm pretty sure it was a printing error on the labeling or something, but I went, whatever. For $1 for 10 bars, that's my soap now. Next week, it will probably be something different. What kind of shampoo do you use? Well, usually VO5 or Suave, because both of those usually cost
Suave
nothing.
Coconut.
Suave Coconut, man.
Yes. If you're not using Suave Coconut, then fuck you. You're doing something wrong with your life.
At the moment, I'm using Head & Shoulders. But that's because Suave Coconut isn't dandruff protection, and it's that time of year when, that crap happens.
Yeah.
But
that's
the one thing. If I'm going to
gotten
splurge,
really weird.
If I'm going to splurge, I'm splurging on dandruff shampoo because you don't want to have dandruff.
I will say though, and I kind of hate this, but you know what? And I hate it because it's Axe, but Axe's snake peel smells really good. Have you ever smelled that one?
Okay, I hate the way Axe smells, man.
I hate the way Axe smells too, but that's
you like snake peel?
The snake peel for some reason. That's the only one I like.
Okay, but so
Please, this is going to be the one
before I ask you the obvious wrap-up question. I'll admit to my weird thing, if you're going to admit to the snake peel. Aussie, the entire brand, their entire line, even their children's one, which supposedly smells like grape. By the way, it doesn't. It smells like Aussie. Maybe Aussie's supposed to smell like grape. I don't know what Aussie's supposed to smell like. Aussie doesn't have a scent listed on it. It just smells like Aussie.
My sister uses that, and every once in a while I'll go up to my mom's and I'll take a shower up there, and it's just there, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm using this Aussie.
It smells
I agree.
great. It does. It's way too expensive for that smell, especially because you notice as soon as you're out of the shower, that smell doesn't linger at all.
No,
it's just gone.
Like with the Suave coconut, you smell like coconut until the next time you take a shower.
Yeah, Aussie, it's like the moment you're out of the shower, you've lost the smell, but it's when you're doing it, it's like, oh, what is this? Hello. My shampoo's hitting on me. So, the question, the obvious important wrap-up question. Unless it's like, oh, I really love this smell, or especially, my girl really loves this smell. If you're going out and buying extra expensive men products, not to dissuade an industry from, I like the idea of, oh, we do handmade soaps and stuff. I love all the artisan kind of crap. But if you're really going out and buying extra expensive soap or shampoo, that's gayer than smelling like fruit.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's just all the unrealistic expectations that Hollywood's put on you to smell like a man or a woman. If we give in to them, we're letting the terrorists win, because they are terrorists.
Wow, you just went straight for the jugular there, huh?
They're terrorists.
This has been All Downhill.
For more episodes and information, including the sources used in this episode, please visit alternative-internet.com/alldownhill. For advertising information, contact Patrick Simmons via email, patrick@alternative-internet.com. The music used in this episode was Forget Me or Not by BOCrew. This has been All Downhill.